Hook! The school gym echoed with laughter, sharp, cruel, and merciless. In the center of the polished wooden floor, a trembling teenage girl clutched her torn cheer uniform, her wide eyes glistening with tears she tried to hold back. The other cheerleaders smirked, phones recording every second. And just as their laughter reached its cruelest point, the gym doors burst open with a sound like thunder. A tall, broad-shouldered man in a navy uniform stepped in, his eyes dark as the ocean before a storm. The bullies froze. He wasn't just any father. He was a Navy SEAL. Who hurt my daughter? His voice rumbled through the air, calm, but deadly. The silence that followed was deafening. Now let's go back to how it all began. When Emily Carter transferred to Riverside High, she hoped for a fresh start. She was 16, shy, and had spent most of her life moving from one military base to another. Her father, Commander Nathan Carter, a decorated Navy SEAL, was always away on missions somewhere in the world doing things she was too young to understand. Her mother had passed away when Emily was only 9, leaving her with her father and the constant ache of missing pieces. Riverside High was supposed to be different, a quiet, small-town school where she could finally belong. She joined the cheer team not because she wanted attention, but because her mom had once been a cheerleader too. It was her way of feeling close to her again. But things didn't go as she'd hoped. The cheer squad at Riverside was ruled by Chloe Reynolds, a queen bee with a cruel streak hidden behind a perfect smile. The moment Emily walked into tryouts with her thrift store shoes and quiet confidence, Chloe saw her as competition. "Cute," Chloe had said, her tone dripping with sarcasm. "Did your dad buy that uniform at a garage sale?" The other girls giggled. Emily tried to smile, to ignore it. But the comments didn't stop, they became whispers in hallways, laughter in locker rooms, and cruel notes stuffed into her bag. "Don't worry," one of the kinder cheerleaders, Lily, whispered one day. "They do this to every new girl." But they didn't do this to every girl, they targeted Emily more than anyone else. Maybe it was because she never fought back. Maybe it was because she always kept her head down. What no one knew was that her father had just come home after 8 months deployed overseas. Emily hadn't told anyone. She wanted to surprise him that Friday night after practice. The torment reached its peak during homecoming week. The squad was practicing late in the gym, working on their new routine. Chloe, always looking for a way to humiliate Emily, decided tonight was the perfect opportunity. "Emily, you take center this time," Chloe said with an evil grin. "Show us what you've got." Emily hesitated. I don't think I'm ready for." "Just do it," Chloe snapped. Emily nodded nervously. The music started. She stepped forward, her movements graceful but uncertain. She could feel their eyes on her, their snickers rising every time she missed a beat. Suddenly, Chloe motioned to one of the others, who slyly pulled on the hem of Emily's skirt mid-routine. The sound of fabric ripping echoed louder than the music. Emily froze, her face burning red as everyone burst into laughter. "Oops," Chloe giggled. "Guess you should have worn something better, new girl." Emily ran out of the gym, her tears falling faster than her heartbeat. She locked herself in the bathroom, trembling. Her reflection stared back at her humiliated, broken, but somewhere deep inside, angry. That night, Emily didn't sleep. She sat by the window, clutching a small photo of her and her dad, him in uniform, her smiling beside him at the pier. She whispered, "I wish you were here, Dad." What she didn't know was that Commander Nathan Carter had come home early that week, hoping to surprise his daughter. He hadn't seen Emily in almost a year, and every mission he'd been on, her face was the light that pulled him through the darkness. When he got to the school gym that Friday, he thought he'd catch her cheering, maybe even see her smile again. But what he walked into instead made his blood run cold. Through the open doors, he saw a group of girls laughing and recording something. Then he saw Emily, his little girl, on the ground, her cheer uniform torn, tears streaming down her face. For a moment, the trained warrior inside him froze. Then his instincts took over. He pushed open the doors, his boots echoing across the floor. The laughter stopped. Every girl turned to stare at the tall man in the navy uniform. His presence filled the gym like a storm rolling over calm waters. He didn't need to raise his voice. His eyes said everything. "Who hurt my daughter?" Chloe tried to speak, her voice shaking. We were just. Just what? Nathan's tone was steady but terrifying. Just humiliating her? Just recording her pain for fun? No one answered. The silence was absolute. Nathan turned to Emily, kneeling beside her. "Hey, sweetheart," he said softly. His voice changed completely, a father's warmth breaking through the storm. "You okay?" She nodded, sobbing into his chest. He looked back up, his gaze sweeping the group of girls who had gone pale. "You think she's weak because she's quiet," he said, his voice low but powerful. "You have no idea what strength looks like. You've never watched your mother die young and still smiled for your father when he came home. You've never waited every night wondering if the man you love most will come back alive. That's strength. And that's my daughter." The principal, hearing the commotion, arrived moments later. After learning what happened, he suspended Chloe and the others immediately. Their phones were confiscated, their parents called. But the real change didn't happen because of punishment. It happened because of what Emily did next. The following Monday, she walked into school not hiding, not trembling, but standing tall. When people whispered, she met their eyes. She joined the cheer practice again, not to prove anything, but to reclaim what was hers. And this time, when she took center stage, she didn't falter. She flipped, landed, and cheered with a fire no one had seen before. When the final cheer ended, the gym erupted in applause, not mockery. Her father stood quietly at the back, arms crossed, a proud smile on his face. Later that day, Chloe approached Emily, eyes downcast. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. "We were wrong." Emily looked at her for a long moment before nodding. "It's okay. Just don't do it to anyone else." That night, as the sun set, Nathan sat with his daughter on the porch. "You were incredible out there," he said, wrapping his arm around her. "I just wanted to be brave, like you," Emily whispered. He smiled softly. "You've always been braver than me, kiddo." The video Chloe's friends had recorded never went online. But the story of what happened spread through the school like wildfire. Not because of the Navy SEAL who walked in, but because of the girl who stood back up. Emily Carter became known not just as the quiet cheerleader, but as the girl who turned humiliation into strength, and fear into courage. And every time someone new joined the cheer squad, she was the first to welcome them with kindness, not cruelty. Because she knew better than anyone. Real strength doesn't roar. It rises, quietly, but powerfully. Sparkle's moral: silence doesn't mean weakness. Sometimes, the quietest people carry the loudest courage.